Hey folks, man, this is Monk, and we are back with another episode of Classes of Cinematics, and I'm joined as always my co-host. We got Bobby Blockbuster.
Yo.
Yeah, man, this AFC NFC Championship Sunday, and we sitting on the couch like a bunch of y'all, watching these games.
Still repping the coolest squad out there.
Yeah, speaking of which, man, we got another heavy hitter, man. We've been banging out these heavy hitters for y'all, man, so go ahead and subscribe to the channel, because we got more in store for you. But today we're going to be talking about Cooley High from 1975. We got Richard Cochise Morris, a local basketball hero, and Leroy Priest Jackson, who dreams of a career in writing. And they are likable high school students in 1960 Chicago. They are into hanging out with friends, pretty girls, and the Motown sound so popular during the era. Each wants to make it big in his own way, but not everybody they meet is looking out for them as they learn when a seemingly harmless outing goes awry. This thing is directed by Michael Schultz. As far as cast, we've got some people who would go on to be heavy hitters. They weren't heavy hitters at the time, but we got Lawrence-Hilton Jacobs, who plays Cochise. We also got Glynn Turman, who plays Leroy Preach Jackson. We get Cynthia Davis, who plays Brenda. Corin Rogers as Pooter. I forgot about Pooter.
Yeah, Pooter.
Garrett Morris, the legend. Jackie Taylor. We also get Joseph Carter Wilson, Stephen Williams, who plays Jimmy Lee in here, and Maurice Marshall. And I think those are going to make out the majority of our cast. We also get Robert Townsend as a cameo, as a basketball player.
The one who don't play with snitches.
Wow, that's funny, man. If you know, what he was going to do, man. But yeah. So this thing was a kind of a hit, man. Budget was $750,000, and it made $13 million at the box office. So this definitely was a hit, man. At the time, and it's a hit on many other ways as we're going to get into it, man. So
absolutely,
let's get into it, man. So what are we rocking with?
First things first, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't talk about this film without talking about the soundtrack. This soundtrack to me is up there with, Dead Presidents or The Lost Boys, Purple Rain. You know what I mean? The soundtrack is the vein that this film flows through. You know what I mean? With this music, like, I can't watch this film and not start tapping my feet or bobbing my head, or when wishing that I was invited to the 25-cent party. You know what I'm saying? So I can go and shake it up a little bit too. You know what I mean? I mean, shit. Right when the film starts, it starts you off with Baby Love. You know what I mean? Dude, you get the Supremes. You get what was it? Freddie Perlman had a few songs in there. Mary Wells, even Smokey Robinson. I mean, dude, this is an emotional based film with emotional based music that just it really just intensifies the emotion that this film brings from beginning to end. Throughout.
Yeah, there's some big moments, man. Like you said, the intro, when those Baby Love comes in, and then I think another good sequence I like too is we see the kids out and about, and they go to the zoo, they dodge the school, and then the say
it's like they partying, but I mean, dude, that's what I'm saying. It's like it's a testament to like just innocent fun. I mean, I remember when me and my folks skipped school, we didn't go to the zoo. Yeah, we did other shit.
Yeah, what I'm saying? Yeah. It's like that Stevie Wonder hit, man. But the music definitely is a good driving. This is almost like a character in its own in this film as it transitions from scene to scene. Yeah. But the thing that I really love about this is the story, man. And this is one of them films I feel like I caught glimpses of it as a young kid. I think I saw the ending where Preach is running at the end. We get that end of the road that Boys and Men later remade. But basically, this is a coming of age story, man. This is at a time in the blaxploitation era where this could have been just another piece of shit film that they tried to make some money off of, but it ended up being great, man. It's one of the great ones, and I think it's great because we're seeing these kids like a lot of times at that era was just a lot of crime, kind of noir kind of type films. Thugs, pimps, you know what I'm saying? Gangsters.
Prostitution.
Prostitution. But then you put this thing out here, which is pretty much a coming of age film. And what's crazy about it precedes, this is like the Black American Graffiti, man. We were talking about earlier. It is a couple years after American Graffiti, but it also preceding stuff like Breakfast Club and, those,
those other coming of age films that follow this blueprint. You know,
and it's crazy, and it does it well, man. It's better than a lot of those films that will come later in the 80s in that way. But I guess it got ignored because of the who was in it, who was the characters and all that stuff.
Well, and to your point, the reason why I feel this film did do so well and still does upon viewing it, I don't know, yesterday again for the umpteenth time, is because it has a very realistic look and feel. Why? Because it's based on the story of Eric Monte and his him coming up in the Chicago area in Cabrini Green projects in the 70s. The family element, the friendship element, you know what I'm saying, which all are driving forces in this story, and that's what makes it so impactful and so relatable.
So just to explain, the arc of the story, it's essentially these kids, man. But what ends up happening, man, they take a joyride, besides their normal day-to-day stuff that we're seeing, which I think is dope, man. I also love just the characters. Cochise is a star athlete, and then Preach wants to be a writer, which is also interesting because I think there's a moment where one of the other kids is poking fun of him. They find his poetry book and they're like, man, he's just going to be a factory worker like the rest of us, and I think that's cool just to have that dynamic in the story, showing that you don't have to be stuck based in your environment. You don't
have to live in a bubble. And that's the thing about Preach too, is like you hear him have conversations with his teacher later in the movie where the teacher sees mass potential in him. He is very smart. He was like, dude, you read books for fun. You do things that other kids have problems with that we have to get them to do just to get a grade. You do it in your free time just because you want to. You know what I'm saying? You are one of these rare individuals that could make it seamlessly, effortlessly, but you choose not to because it's just, it's like, it's not stimulating his mind.
And the teacher is kind of, it's that, Taylor's all this time is like, you're wasting your potential. It's one of them things.
Pretty much.
But basically what happens, man, they go on a joyride, which I love that scene too, man.
That's my favorite scene.
It's a car chase, man. People don't talk about when they bring up the classic car chases movies, they don't talk about this. And I thought this was really well filmed. It's short, but it's fun and it's potent though, man. When they basically take a joyride with some of these other kids and they're still this car and a stolen car and the cops get on them and they're dipping and diving. They drive through a warehouse. Like some of those shots are just fantastic. If you rewatch this, pay attention to that, man.
Dude, the cool thing about that warehouse, they said in the Chicago area, that exact warehouse was used as a drag racing area. It didn't last long, obviously. I mean, because when you look at it, it's like...
You mean after they saw this movie?
No, it was before.
Oh, that's crazy.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, you're looking... I mean, and at this time, cars are land boats, okay? That's what my daughter calls town car, you know what I mean? And it's a newer model. It wasn't one of these 70, this is actually took place in 64, so that was a 64 Cadillac. I think it was an Eldorado. But dude, it's big as a house, and they're dipping through like this small garage. Dude, they're barely just smacking the mirrors off.
I love it, man.
With Preach driving, no license. My man didn't even know how to shift it in gear out the gate.
Rewatch it, man, because we mentioned this back when we did our best car chase videos, but man, that thing, look at it again. It's short. It's not as long as some of the others that we had on that list, but it's good, man.
Oh, it gets the heart pumping, the blood flowing, and then you also still see, this fun element. They're missing death by every corner, every turn that Preach makes, running from the cops. So your livelihood, your freedom is at stake. And my man that's riding shotgun with him is like laughing. He puts his hat on. And he's like, "Yo, watch out!" I'd have fucked around and had a heart attack, bro.
It's fun, but eventually, I guess the cops figure out who it was, and they, come to the school looking for answers, and the crazy thing about it is Preach and Cochise are cool with one of their teachers, and he actually vouches for them, because he's friends with the police officer who comes around poking his head.
Right.
And he gets them, the officer's like, all right, I'm gonna leave them alone. But then the teacher's also like, what about the other two? And he's like, I can't do nothing about them. They already got a rap sheet. They're messed up in the game. So when Preach and Cochise are let out of jail, the other two guys are like, well, what about us?
Instantly think they snitch.
Yeah, and they think that they snitch.
Instantly. So and everybody knows what happens to snitches.
Yeah. So eventually they they get out and they want revenge, and they actually end up beating Cochise to death, man. And that's where we get the the end of the road, the funeral scene, the classic stuff. But there's other stuff that happens along the journey, and I think it's worth mentioning because, like I said, man, this thing is a glimpse of just of this is black youth, and there's life, there's potential, this is coming to age. They're like about to graduate, so this is them about to go step into the world and becoming adults, man. And I think it's just a cool period of time that we see these characters in.
For me, also, like I said, I love the start of this film, not only because of the music, but this opening scene. You get all these aerial views, and it really it embraces the city of Chicago. It makes us feel like we're part of the community and everything that it has, from going to the restaurant or going to the party or this car chase scene. I mean, we feel like we're part of the crew in this story that embraces and embodies friendship, loyalty, and trust, and the importance of it as coming up as a youngin, growing up into a man. And if you are fortunate enough to maintain these friendships without having those three key factors broken, then you have friends for life. And this gives you that, you know what I'm saying? And with this awesome setting that we get, then they use this as a platform to springboard this story off of, and that's what makes it feel so real, so relatable.
And it is crazy too because there's a few real professional actors in this, but a lot of the characters, a lot of background characters, a lot of side characters were people and kids from this community, man. And this thing is what I've noticed too. Rewatching them, like, dude, they ain't have no budget, man. So everyone is coming to set as is. They got the clothes on that they probably have in the house. Most of them, there's no makeup. You're looking at, you seeing kids, how kids look. They got blemishes. You know what I'm saying? They got bad acne and some of them, man. But it adds to the authenticity for me, man. Like it's crazy.
That runs the restaurant. She always looks sweaty. She has that
the older woman
that always wields the damn butcher knife, tries to preach out for gambling.
But there's so much reality in it. Like that's
over a hot stove.
That's like the after school hangout spot that all the kids come to. It's a restaurant, but
get a meal and get your groove on and shoot a little craps. Shit.
Yeah, it's like here, man. Like I mean, my high school years was in the suburbs, but we'd go to the there was a Wendy's or McDonald's we go to after school if you didn't want to go straight home and you hang out there.
Or shit, the little cul-de-sac area where the M&G's is at. That's where that's like you ain't had to be 21 to catch a bite.
Hey, man, that was wild over there, man. I was buying cigarettes at like 15.
What? And a mad dog.
You know what? Mike didn't sell me beer though. I think he was looking out for me, man. I tried one day and he was like, nah. But then I think I had a friend that died, and the friend, he was cool. He knew us, man, coming in there. My friend died at 19. And I think the day of the funeral, man, we came in there, had my little suit on, and we was all looking sad. And I just grabbed a 40, man, and he sold it to me. He's like, I guess you need it, bro.
I was a couple years after you, bro, and see, I ain't had no facial hair at that time, but one of my homies did. So he would sell him like he was 32. You know what I'm saying? We had biology together.
Shout out to M&G Mike
all day.
But I love those elements, man. Even in school, man, the way they're cutting up and the little cliques and stuff, man. The party was amazing. I love that too, man, because it's like
a great concept, a quarter party, dog.
But that happened, dude, back in the day. I didn't have to pay for the parties back in the day. Most of the time, it was just some parents was out of town and somebody would have people over, and things like that happen. Things will break. Or a fight will break out.
So the basement turns into like the ice box or a go-go or something.
Some furniture get to moving around. Like it was good times, man. And I love that this film captures that, man. But it's all not. But then it's all not just funny games, man. You know?
I'm glad. Wow, way to toss me that alley. Let me LeBron. I'm about to LeBron this shit. So, but dude,
that takes Wade in the picture.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I love the little capers in this film. There's little capers throughout this film. I mean, we start with watching them just pull the little fake nosebleed to skip school to go to the zoo. It's like, yeah, cool. But then when Preach starts talking to the hot dog lady, he's like, yeah, man, let me get a hot dog. You ain't got no ketchup. I'm a ketchup on my dog kind of person too, so it always makes me laugh. You know what I'm saying? He's like, oh, no relish? What what you got in here? And then he's continuously talking while the Pooter and Cheese are stealing popcorn and everything. And he has to raise his voice so she don't hear the bag crumple. And he's like, what you got? Mustard? And she was like, yeah. He was like, well, you like mustard on your hot dog? Like, yeah. He was like, and you eat it. You know what I'm saying? They get that going on.
Or he's distracting her while they're stealing the other
or like
things.
Even with the party, you know what I'm saying? You get this 25-cent party, but one of the clique is I got dealings with the chick who's running the door. Don't nobody got no money in high school.
In, like,
so
yo.
He's like, man, we in there like a fat rat in a cheese factory. So
that's a funny thing, because really we didn't see none of them having no jobs, but man, Preach was I guess he lost all his change rolling.
Because she came and he was winning, and then she kicked him out. And so the dude that was dealing with the chick running the door, he pulls her to the side, butters up the toast real quick, and then he's like, man, Preach will run the door, and then he lets all the homies in. You know what I'm saying? Even the part where Cheese and Preach go scheme the prostitutes to get money just to go into the film to see Godzilla. Like, they use the one dude's little brother's fake police badge, and they're like, yeah, we want some action, woo woo woo, and then he pulled the badge out. The prostitute's like, you don't look like no cops, and Cheese is like, that's why they hired us, because we don't look like cops, bitch.
This probably spawned 21 Jump Street. Matter of fact, my man that plays the pimp in this is the guy, the main guy on 21 Jump Street when that came out.
I didn't even feel bad for the dude. I mean, that scheme was pretty solid. Like
Stephen Williams.
He butters the dude up. You could tell the guy, this white dude, comes in there. He's all the way out of his element, looking for some fun for the night. And the pimp like pulls out this envelope full of money and shit. He's like, yeah, these chicks be stealing, so my customers, they give me their bread, and then I hold it in this envelope, and then I drop it off to them after they done.
Which was the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
And I'm listening to this shit like,
I'm like, man, she's stealing. All right, I'm gonna put this in my sock.
And and not for nothing, in there. But that's how you can tell, That's the gullibleness and the ignorance of the trick. You know what I'm saying? You're out of your element. You're nervous. You deserve to have that shit happen.
I feel like he was double dipping, because he probably would have got the guy's money from him, his cut off of him sleeping with the girl, but that's like the double dip. It's like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna try to get the whole wallet.
Dude, it's like that way you don't gotta have this sleazeball laying down with the chick. You know what I'm saying? And I mean,
see, I feel like people are unaware of some of this stuff because they think stuff is too lowbrow. But it's like some of this stuff you gotta learn about to keep yourself from getting scammed. Because one of the things, I think it was I forgot where I heard this thing at. I don't know if it was Iceberg Slim or a rap movie or a skit, but he was like a good prostitute. She's not only gonna get the trick, but she's gonna steal his wallet when he goes in the bathroom to wash up and leave. And I'm like, that's game. And that's what this guy got work. Basically, he got his wallet took, but the woman didn't take it. Instead, the pimp took it before.
Didn't even get the product. But that's the thing. Like, as a consumer, you got to know your product. You got to know your element. That's like, if this is your first time, you just woke up yesterday and decide you want to start smoking weed. All right, cool. And then you go just to any and everybody. Then the first bag of weed you buy is actually a bag of parsley. You kind of fucking deserve it to have it happen because you don't know the ropes. Don't go out there green or you get got.
Yeah, dude. That's what I be telling people, man. And that's the thing. That's why I think you should watch as many kind of movies as you can, man. A lot of people will look at this black stuff and be like, oh, it's black. How can I relate? Look at it. You will find a way to relate, man. This is just classic coming of age film that we see all the time that they try to make and they fail miserably at because they don't tap into the soul of anything. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Like this thing is superior to a lot of stuff along the lines of this that have came out since, dude.
And that's the thing. You can tell we've been doing this a long time, bro. Because it's like you're picking my brain without me saying shit. You know what I'm saying? Because the next thing I was going to say is how relatable these characters are. There is a relatable character. Anyone who watches this film can find someone in this film that they relate to. You know what I'm saying?
That's funny you say that, because as we're talking in the background is that one scene where everybody, they're in somebody's house and they're just, the whole crew is hanging out, and we see so many different personality types.
Yes. And the cool thing about this film is, you get a dual lead role in Cochise and Preach. You know what I'm saying? Neither one of them are lead horse while they're running this race. They're running parallel, and even though they are friends, they are on two different sides of the spectrum, with the Preach being like more poet, more into the books, where Cochise is supposed to be, this all-star athlete, which I also think is really cool. They show him shoot a basketball one time. One
one
time,
gym scene.
and it was in the streets. It was not.
Oh
in
yeah,
school.
you're right.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like they didn't waste any film time showing us. Let's show him play one game. So
you know what it was? That jacket did everything.
The jacket did everything. And the jacket and the letter. You know what I'm saying? He got accepted to Grambling off of a sports scholarship, and we knew that because they told us, and we knew he could shoot the rock because he did it. We saw
had the grades for yellow, brown.
You know what I'm saying? So and I think that's cool. But you know what? The cool thing is even though we get this great dual lead cast, we get first class acting from all of the secondary characters.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? They all leave an imprint in your mind. And like I said, even if you can't relate to Cheese or relate to Preach, some people might relate to Pooter. Some people might relate to the teacher or the two people that stole the car. I mean, or sad to say, and I know you wouldn't want to admit this shit, but some people relate to the guy who got by the pimp.
Yep. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let that marinate for a second.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. Yeah. It's a wild, man. But I love it, man. This thing is so classic, man. It's great, dude. Like, and the impact, it's just been felt, man. It's reverberating. I feel like if you watch Juice, you're watching some of Cooley High. If you watch The Wood, you're watching some of Cooley High. And consequently, some of these other films that might have had like mostly white cast. Yeah. You're watching Cooley High, man. Like, it's crazy. High.
Yes, and see, there is a reason why in 2021 this film was selected for preservation by the United States National Film Registry by the Library of Congress for being culturally, historically, and aesthetically significant. You do not watch Cooley High. You feel it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You feel it, man.
You feel the anger that Pooter has when he keeps getting dismissed and pushed to the side. You feel the joy that Preach feels when he finally gets the woman, and the betrayal that he feels when he finds out Cochise tagged his chick. You know what I'm saying? And you feel the pain of loss when Cochise passes, man. You do not watch this film. This is one that it might play on the TV, but you feel that shit. Your heart skips beats. It elevates. It decreases. This movie is one of the greatest film achievements, you know what I'm saying, on many levels. Love not just movie, for African American culture, but for movie viewers across the board. And you have to understand that and watch it through a transparent lens. You know what I'm saying? Don't let nothing that you feel like you might not relate to or might not fall into your everyday way of life hinder you from watching this movie. You would be a fool, you know what I'm saying, to think that.
Yeah, man, it's a great movie, man. I do want to point out one final fact I can give you guys. This TV show, What's Happening, is loosely based on this film, man. Technically, Raj from What's Happening is actually Priest, because his final act was this is one of those movies too. I don't know who did it first, but maybe this is one of the first time I saw it where the movie ends and you see the role at the end where it shows what every character ended up doing later in life, and this thing was he moved to LA to become a film director. And if you think about it, or a film writer, screenwriter, if you think about What's Happening, he's on the West Coast now, and he's got a sister named Dee who's kind of the way the sister is. I'm gonna tell Mama. This is
his story, and you know what, dude? I'm so glad, because now, you know what I'm saying. Like, I was so excited to talk about this, buzzing up and everything, just revving. I said good times. It's What's Happening.
Yeah, it's what's happening. There's some good times in this though.
No, but when I said it's the ABC show Good Times, no, it was What's Happening. So you know what I'm saying. So anyone who wants to cook me at the beginning part of this show like that, dude, don't know what he's talking about.
You would have been cool if you didn't even say this just now.
But you know what I'm saying. No, but I'm gonna say that because I own my shit, and everything else still is exactly right. But I said Good Times instead of What's Happening. But so I'm glad we did that. You know what I'm saying. We own our mistakes on this side too. So,
yeah, man. But this is a classic, man. This is a certified classic, man. I don't really got much else to say except to go see it, man. If you watch this far, man, and if you probably don't care about spoilers, but check it out. If you haven't seen it, if you've seen it before, watch it again, man. This is one that I throw on in the background just sometimes once a month, just because I can listen to this film
Yeah.
while I'm sitting here working. I know all the dialogue, but then the music hits in, and you just like, boom! I look up at certain parts, and it's great, man. This is a great damn movie.
Yes,
man.
I'm piggybacking with you. You know, like I said, the relatability, the rewatchability, the relevance of this film never goes away. It came out in '75, and in 2023, it's still hitting the same chord that it hit the first time I watched it. And I was born in the '80s, so I still saw it many years after it came out. You know what I'm saying? So yes, just check this film out. Do yourself a solid. And if, like I said, if you have seen it again before, watch it again. It does not lose no luster. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's Cooley as fuck.
Yeah, definitely, man. But that's it, folks, man. We're going to get out of here, man. Check out Classics of Cinematics at Classics of Cinematics on Instagram, man. And follow From the Canopy Greater Network at FTCNet on Instagram. And you can follow me, Monk, at Monkey Blood on Twitter and Instagram.
And I'm Bobby Blockbuster. You can catch me on the gram at Bobby Blockbuster 118.
All right, folks. Peace. We out.